DMV back with another one. You guys know it's Wednesday night. Had to come out with the hangout. My boy Elton will be a little bit late. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make sure that I send an invite to him. In the meantime, though, we'll get down to business. First and foremost, what I want to do is one of the Cowboy greats that I grew up on this guy and his team. He was actually the leader of one of the '90s Cowboys teams in my eyes. Michael Irvin is actually in the hospital for I believe he's getting checked for throat cancer. So that was a big story, a big development yesterday, and I haven't really heard anything new, but I just ask you Cowboy faithful out there to keep him in your prayers because, Michael Irvin is definitely a staple in this franchise, will be forever. If you can't have the triplets without Michael Irvin, although Emmitt Smith is my favorite player, Michael Irvin definitely was really the glue that held everything together. And when Michael Irvin went, that franchise kind of went. So I'm just going to spend a little bit of time right now to say hello to the people. What's going on, Queen Supreme? How you doing? Sandman, how you doing out there, Sandman? We got a couple people on right now. So, it is what it is. So let's jump into some news. So apparently over however many hours or whatnot, there's been a whole bunch of reports that DeMarcus Lawrence wants $23 million. Well, I guess that's what has been reported by his agent. So I think they must have reneged on the previous $20 million offer on the table. Now, what I would like to tell people is this. Look, when negotiations happen through the media, things get really, 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 really ugly. So, yeah, a lot of people like to hop on and look at the first thing they see and just believe it for just because you hear one side of the story and you just believe it just because it's being said by a source or whoever said it. Maybe Mike Fisher reported it or whatever. And the one thing that I like to point out is when negotiations are going on, all that I really ask people to do is just pretty much be patient because all of these people are professionals. They're going to get things done. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with how the Cowboys do negotiations through the media, then you must be new to the program because everybody besides Romo and Witten, as far as I can go, as far as getting big deals, got kind of dragged through the mud as far as trying to get a deal done. I remember when we tried to get Romo's deal done for the $100 million contract, and it was more so let's get the deal done because we got to save money on the salary cap. As far as Witten's deal went, I don't remember too much going on, but I don't know how much mud you can really drag with Jason Witten because he played every game. He came, he brought his hard hat. So you really couldn't say too much with it. But I do remember when Dez was trying to get his money and it was total, how do I say it? I don't want to curse today. I'm gonna try not to curse today, but it was a total pig pen when they tried to negotiate Dez's contract. Everything came up from when Dez got into trouble, from all of that type of stuff. So I remember that, and it wasn't pretty. And it looks like it might be going down this way for DeMarcus Lawrence, because all of a sudden now him not getting surgery might be what held things back. Now all of a sudden it's his agent who came back with $23 million. So just understand that you guys are really pretty much hearing it from one side. And, I like to tell fans, look, don't look at it as being greedy. Things are still pretty early. It's March. We're not going to start playing football tomorrow. There's a lot of room to negotiate. The thing is, you're only really one day away from a negotiation being complete. So what I ask people to do is, look, obviously he wants to be a Cowboy. So what I do is say, be patient, How do I feel about it? Do I think he's worth $23 million? I'm not gonna say he's worth $23 million. I don't think he's worth $23 million, but at the end of the day, he is very valuable to our franchise. He's developed under our team. He developed under the program, and he is right now what we're looking for in the pass rusher. He's everything that we want. He's a guy that comes off-season workouts. As a matter of fact, he came to the captain's workouts not too long ago. Last year, he did all of the off-season workouts being under the franchise tag. So if you ask me, the guy is a leader. So as a fan, I want him here, but you never know what happens. So let me see some of the comments in here. Dre the Great says, I say we trade him before his value goes down. And see, this is what I keep telling people. For one, and I don't know if it's genius or if it's stupid, but when they say he didn't have his surgery or whatnot, I don't know what trade value you see in him. If I'm a team looking at this situation, I'm thinking, is he damaged goods? Like, how much am I really going to get for this guy? One, he wants a big deal. And two, I don't know if he's injured. What's up, Elton? My man, Elton. Yeah, we're talking about Tank Lawrence. Tank really want $23 million. So how do you feel about it? I've already pretty much explained how I feel. I'm wrapping it up, but, tell people how you feel.
To me, from what I seen, what they offered them, they $3 million apart. To me, I think they should compromise and meet somewhere in the middle, like at 21.5. Give them more guaranteed money, because we all know that 6 years, $120 million is really fake money. It is actually rare player ever sees all of that anyway.
Absolutely, and it's actually weird because for me, normally when you see negotiations, the annual salary isn't the main thing that's negotiated. It's mainly that guaranteed money like you talk about. So for me, I'm with you. I mean, I'm not sure that I want the Cowboys to give me a whole bunch of fluff because the Cowboys get real creative. You know what I mean?
Because if you look, Zach Martin's already out of guaranteed money. So,
wow, that's nuts. So, yeah, I mean, that's how I feel about it. I mean, in my opinion, I just feel like, we often as fans, like I'm trying to tell everybody, don't jump the gun. Like just because you ask for something doesn't mean you're going to get it. All that means is, hey, this is where I want to get. If anybody has ever negotiated a salary, negotiated anything, that you always ask for more than what you really want.
And you actually hope to get back down to what I actually want $25 million. All right, we will give you 22. Okay.
Exactly. When in all actuality, you really just wanted 21 million. So, I mean, that's just negotiations, not one-on-one. But as I was telling the fans before you got on, it's March 27th. We're not starting football tomorrow. So we don't have to get a deal done. Tank knows that. He's using that as his leverage. The Cowboys, if anything, it's more so on the Cowboys to try and get this thing done quicker than anything. So he's probably just using his leverage right now to try and, strike oil, as many would say.
Yeah, because I am looking at it as the Cowboys want to make other deals. Well, do actually more extensions, and they don't want this creeping up on them because they don't want to wait till July 11th to get the deal done.
Hell no. And honestly, Tank knows that as well. So, I said 20 yesterday. It's like the Bob Arum. Yesterday I was lying. Today yesterday I wanted 20 million. I want 23 now. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, really, I think that really what it comes down to is the guaranteed money that you're talking about. That's where you need to, hey, look, we can guarantee you this money or whatever. Like the annual really doesn't matter. Because it's all about security at the end of the day.
Yep. Now, if this was an NBA contract, yes, whatever, because you were guaranteed to see every penny of that. After the guaranteed money's up in the NFL contract, all that doesn't mean nothing anymore.
Absolutely. So actually, I'm going to skip a topic and come back to it. but this is the perfect segue. So, how do you think these tank negotiations, as far as Robert Quinn goes, how desperate does this make the Cowboys to actually land Robert Quinn just in case D Law decides to hold out?
I don't really think it really affects him personally because it ain't like he can go somewhere. He's either gonna sign an extension or else lose out on 20 mil, and I don't think he wants to lose out on 20 mil.
I
So,
wouldn't.
huh?
I said I wouldn't.
So, I mean, to me, he actually won't show up to training camp. I I I don't think that. But as far as Robert Quinn, I don't think it to me, if they want him, they actually more. I mean, he is kind of a need because I don't think any pass rusher at 58 is going to come in and give you 7 or 8 sacks, which I think most likely he can do.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think that I'm not sure how much the Saints are actually biting on him because I would think that there would be some action. You would see Mike Fisher reporting on, the Cowboys actually making an offer to the Dolphins as far as Robert Quinn goes. It's still a hot topic, don't get me wrong, but you know the difference in when the Cowboys have to show some urgency in getting something done opposed to when they don't. And I don't necessarily see that right now. I don't know the contract numbers right now, but I'm pretty sure that the Dolphins want to try and get Robert Quinn off of their books, right?
Because I was saying something. The Cowboys want actually them to take some of the cash and actually paying them, which from all I've seen, the Dolphins are willing to do. So it just seems like it's just compensation. Not unless I actually don't see the Saints come in and say, "All right, we're gonna give you a second round pick for him."
Okay, so I'm looking at the cap number for Robert Quinn this year, and it's about $12.9 million. Uh, so if he gets cut by them, they save $11 million, and on dead money they only take $1.1 million. So I think that really all of the Cowboys, I guess the Cowboys' urgency really just depends on how bad the Saints really want him. Because if the Saints don't want him, I think that the Dolphins are in a position to where they have to cut him.
And yeah, so because I am guessing the Cowboys asking them, hey, actually, could you eat 4 or 5 million of that? Getting this cap number to us for like 8.
And plus, if they get a pick out of it, I'm pretty sure that they would be okay with that. But actually, I mean, if the Dolphins really want to keep him, though, it looks like they're projected to have what 26 million dollars in cap space. So I think they really don't have to cut him if they don't want to, if they don't get a deal that they want to. But if I'm the Cowboys and I want them bad enough, I probably would have to dig into my draft. Probably my draft for next year.
Yeah, because what I'm say to you early, teams get real reckless on next year's draft pick because you don't because to me it isn't hurting you yet. You don't really know where you're gonna be to about week 8. Like, whoo, we are terrible. This is gonna
Yeah.
be a high pick.
But keep this in mind though, Elton. Like, if there's gonna be a couple of guys we're probably gonna have to let go next year anyway. And when you think about the comp picks that you be getting back, it might not be that much of a loss to give up a third round pick next year. That's assuming that Byron Jones don't get signed. Again, that's something I'm throwing out there. Cowboys fans hate it. I know they do, but he has a lot of value for us, whether he gets cut or whether we trade.
Because I looked at it, I
We're
think
not cut,
this year,
sorry.
because this year we had 12 unrestricted free agents. Next year we're gonna have 32 unrestricted. 30. like 32 unrestricted free agents and like 6 restricted, and actually 3 like first rights of guys. Like Jalen Smith is going to be a restricted free agent, which means we are keeping him because I am quite sure they're going to put a first round tender on him.
Absolutely.
Randy Gregory is going to be a restricted free agent, which I don't know how that's going to work out, but because of the big names, you got Dak, Amari, and Byron, who are unrestricted free agents next year.
What about Zeke? Wouldn't Zeke be next year too?
5th-year option.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. That's right. That's absolutely right. That's why we have you here, man. And I didn't mean Byron get cut. I meant if Byron, like if they allow him to go to free agency, he goes and signs somewhere else. So let me clear that up before I get killed.
Yeah, so people thought we had cap room this year. Next year, it's like we are projected really, really under the cap.
Yeah, but we also got to sign our guys. And again, that's why this year it makes more sense to draft as if we're broke. Keep drafting and keeping things going like you've been keeping it going. You know what I mean? As if we ain't got no salary cap room, no nothing. Because if you keep acting like that, if you keep drafting with urgency and value, then you're never going to be in the situation we were where we had a high-paid quarterback and we just, for some odd reason, we couldn't put things together without him. So
sort of like the 90s Cowboys. They won 3 Super Bowls. They just started reaching for picks and couldn't add to the roster. Once Novacek started leaving, you start drafting bums like David LaFleur in the first round.
What about Dwayne Goodrich? Remember that name? Yeah. So, all right, let's jump to the next subject. George Iloka, strong safety for the previous Minnesota Vikings and Cincinnati Bengals, a couple years removed, is now a Dallas Cowboy on a 1-year deal. I can't find any figures on what we paid him, but I see your face. Huh?
I actually think we paid him $962,000.
If that's the case, I'm not tripping, bro. I was tripping more so off of the headlines where they say the Cowboys finally got their safety, or the Cowboys find their safety. This guy is not the safety fix that people think he is. Does he add depth? Absolutely. And if it's for $962,000, I rest my case. I'm good. That means we're in no different position than we were before we signed him.
Honestly, when I seen how much we gave him, I was like, man, they actually could still go get Eric Berry if they wanted.
And the funny thing about the whole Eric Berry situation, even though he's hurt, and I think that maybe he asked for too much. Like you said, he can now heal up, and then after the draft, guess what? No, ain't nobody signed Eric Berry. Nobody's knocking down his doors. Nobody is asking Eric Berry to come in and visit. We still, like you said, have that option in case we get the safety that we want.
Because actually, I actually looked at it. They actually gave him $700,000, and it jumps up to actually $962 if he's on the 43-man roster when the season starts. So actually, it's only a $700,000 deal.
Yeah, Cameron Thomas just said $750,000 guaranteed. I'm gonna shout out a few people that are in the chat box right now. What up to? Let me see. We got Dre the Great. I see Sandman in there. Keith Parrish, Charles Demino. I think it's Demino. Damo's in there. Let's see. Lorenzo Everhart. My man Junior's back from earlier. Meticulous Cowboys in here. Queen Supreme. So yeah. We got a pretty good room in here right now, and it's pretty cool. So, but to add on to the point though, signing George Iloka, I read something very interesting from Stephen Jones. Stephen Jones said something along the lines of, Jeff Heath or Xavier Woods, they're really excited about what he's been able to do. And I'm paraphrasing. They're really excited about his year last year. He had an exciting year as a free safety. Jeff Heath, Jeff came in and, did some really good things for them playing down. Then they said Kayvon Frazier, he was a low draft pick and he came in and played some special teams for him. But right around Kayvon Frazier is where they got thin at the position. So for me, when I read that, I was kind of thinking it was kind of a slap in the face to Kayvon Frazier because this is right before we signed George Aloka and before we went to go look for all these other people. So knowing that we went out and got George Aloka, does this mean that you think Kayvon Frazier's on the hot seat? Possibly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think they still draft a safety high. I mean, because even Ioka ain't promised with he ain't even promised a spot. So, I mean, because they have done it before, sign somebody and cut them in actually final cut. So,
yeah, I actually read the quote. So the quote was from Stephen Jones. So you've obviously got free safety Xavier Woods, who we're thrilled with, young and up and coming. Then he said, of course, Jeff Heath is doing a great job holding down safety down, but it's a little thin after that. Then he said Kayvon Frazier was a late round pick who was a good special teams player who can certainly play the down position, but I think we need to look at that position. So when he said it gets a little thin after that, then Kayvon Frazier, then he talks about we have to look at that. I read that as if he's saying what Kayvon offers us is not good enough. Like, that's just how I read it. And I also read that, Jeff Heath is holding that, like pretty much the down safety down, like the other safety down. He's holding it down. But if they're looking at possibly bringing in a down safety, which they already did with George Aloka, I think that now this is just a hunch, but I think that what he's saying by that was they don't necessarily want Jeff Heath to play down either. And so maybe they brought in Aloka for some depth so that they can draft a down safety, because if you look at some of the visits out there with, like Jonathan Abrams has been getting a lot of traction as far as like what you've been hearing as far as Cowboys brass. So am I crazy in thinking that they want to move Jeff Heath back to free behind Xavier Woods?
No, I mean, I actually wouldn't see that as truly a bad thing. And actually, usually who the Cowboys bring in the building, they usually draft them if they do.
Yeah, and so let me see if I can find you some of the safeties that they have actually had visits with. But I do know that Juan Thornhill is one of them. Help me out in the chat box if you can. Cowboys 30 visits, but I know that Abrams is one. I know that Taylor Rapp, I believe, is one. All right, so if you go to walterfootball.com for you people, for fans out there, and you want to track the visits of the Cowboys, this is pretty much going to tell you exactly who the Cowboys are, pretty much going to go after. Let me see if I can actually bring the screen up for you guys. That actually would make a little bit more sense. Let's see. Cowboys. Take over for me while I find that for people.
Yep. I mean, to me, I look at it as, because it is rare they just, lately anyway, bring in somebody they don't want. Because that ain't the Cowboys to bring in smoke screens. We are usually flat out, oh yeah, we actually want you. We are going to try to draft you. We ain't going to bring in damn DK Metcalf knowing we ain't going to draft him.
Yeah, I know. And the crazy thing is I've been seeing a lot of from Cowboys faithful really, like, hey, we should draft these slot receivers and all that. I don't necessarily get that from the Cowboys based off of like what I've been hearing. as far as the visits and stuff. There have been a couple, but like after the Randall Cobb thing, kind of the Randall Cobb signing, things kind of died off as far as that goes.
To me, like I said, like in one of our earlier chats, if they gonna get a slot receiver, they actually get Hunter Renfrow in the 5th or 6th round. And to me, he's perfect because he's played in big games and made big catches. So the moment of playing in Dallas, to me, he isn't going to be bright eyed because playing in Clemson these last 3 years with Deshaun Watson and damn Lawrence, you are good. Shit, did it go off?
Dang, but I always have brought in to actually see who they might be getting. So I got an actual other topic that we could talk on right now before we get to some Q&A. But Lyle Collins, his future. So this was brought up by my boy Vosh. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Vosh Lombardi, but Vosh Lombardi is an actual beast when it comes to this Cowboy stuff, when it comes to the draft circuit and everything like that. Like Vosh, if there's anybody that I trust as far as his word goes, Vosh is one of those people. And he came up with the theory as to how we can get on without Lyle Collins. One of the things being that what we talked about was moving Connor out to the right tackle. Or one of the things was have Connor and Collins fight it out for that right tackle spot. Draft the left guard with 58, since we'll probably be getting the best guard center combo person at 58. So my question to you, knowing that Lyle Collins, I think if we cut him, we save $9 million. Is that something that intrigues you possibly? The actual cut of him, or how do you feel?
I would rather trade him than cut him. Because I don't think we get a compensation pick for him because he was undrafted. But I'm not sure. So I would rather get something for him than actually outright cut him.
Okay, so what would you say would be the least amount that you would accept for him?
I mean, if I could get anything 4th or 5th, I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm not expecting anybody to give us a 1st or a 2nd. Not unless he just had a beast year. But if he's having a beast year, then we ain't gonna get rid of him. But for what he's done, 4th, 5th, I am all right with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is that like one thing that is for certain is we're gonna have our 3 guys here for the rest of their time, probably more than likely. Would it be Frederick? Would it be Tyron Smith and Zach Martin? I mean, that's just a given. And we're probably going to interchange the left guard and the right tackle throughout our time.
Yep. And now the only time they're gonna look at left tackle is when they say, "All right, Tyron, it is time to kick back over."
Absolutely, yeah. And by that time, the money he making is chump change.
Yeah,
because he signed a 10-year deal. And we got over on that deal. Looking at how things were setting up, I think it was absolutely genius to sign him to a 10-year deal.
They even got a good discount with Travis Frederick.
Hey, let's see some of the things we got in the chat box, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna open it up for Q&A. Open it up for Q&A. By the way, I heard my man Connor Williams put on 10 pounds of muscle.
I like it.
Me too, because last year I think around this time he weighed in at about like 297 or whatever, and it's pretty light. I'm actually really surprised at them actually putting him inside, knowing that he was that light in the ass. But
I actually think they wanted him to get the experience. And like I said, I don't think he played bad. Like, oh, he's trash. I'm like, he's getting overpowered. That can be worked on.
yeah, absolutely. And I think that we weren't necessarily using his best attribute, which I think was his athleticism. Which being inside, and I mean, they really just didn't foresee the things that happened. Like Frederick, having a condition that they like. That ultimately was what it is. Because if you go back and Vosh did a breakdown of Lyle Collins when he moved the guard to see if it made a lot of sense. If Lyle guard was really just this good guard, or or we just pretty much talking hot air about moving him back inside, and you could actually see that he was pretty slow. In certain cases, he was really slow with his hands, but you could see Frederick was able to help him a lot. And Connor Williams missed out on that year of tutelage by one of the greats, at the center position. So they didn't foresee that. And Joe Looney, as I brought up a lot, was fending off things for himself. So I mean, I think that it probably would have behooved him a little bit better if you didn't know you were going to have Frederick to move him back to tackle, I think.
Yep. And like they probably last year was probably the worst we've seen the offensive line look in probably about 7 years.
Absolutely. So I see a lot of people talking about Darnell Savage from Maryland. Are you familiar with Darnell Savage?
Not really.
I know this much about Darnell Savage. Savage really, really, really jumped on the scene as far as being a Cowboy favorite as of late. What I'm probably going to do is because I haven't had a chance to break him down. I broke down other safeties, but you know how it goes. Sometimes you get those not late bloomers, but you get those people that just all of a sudden later on they jump out at you. I'm going to take a look at them, but just to let you guys know, tomorrow I'm going to work on a video on Taylor Rapp because I know that he's a fan favorite. And what I really want to focus on with my videos this year as far as the draft goes is people that we're visiting, that we're talking to. I don't want to waste time on a guy that I really like Tim Settle last year. I really, really like Tim Settle, but we ain't visit him. We ain't talk to him, no nothing. So it was just kind of a waste of time. And then all of these Redskin fans, see my video and they talking trash here and there and all of this type of stuff. So all I did was really just help Redskin fans understand what the hell it is that they had. So this year I want to focus a little bit more on the guys that we actually have a shot on landing. So let's go to some Q&A, man, and then we can head on out of here. Let's see. Deontay Thompson, Adamo said, Deontay Thompson or Andy Isabella?
Andy Isabella.
Yeah, I agree. It's actually funny because do you remember when Deontay Thompson was everybody's number one safety on that board?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been looking at mocks and stuff lately, but the number one guy on a lot of the mocks that I've been looking at on CBSSports.com, they got Juan Thornhill as the first safety coming off the board.
Because I've been paying attention to NFL.com, and they usually have Taylor Rapp or Wells Atley as the first safeties to go.
Which is actually, I mean, it probably depends on need at the safety position because I think that Adderley can play free. I don't think that Taylor Rapp is a free. You know what I mean? Juan Thornhill actually can play. It's kind of like a Swiss Army knife, so he can do it all. So it probably depends on your scheme and what you want to do. But, yeah, I mean, Deontay Thompson, it's actually funny, though, because if he falls to us, I wouldn't mind having him. I just don't have him better than any of those safeties.
Plus, I've seen him in big games, and he's usually getting cooked.
Oh, bro, he will miss an assignment in a damn minute.
I'm like, I'm all right with him. I watch clips and tear his ass up.
Okay. Keith Parrish said something that I know that you're gonna really love. He said, I wish we had a better backup quarterback.
I think we all do. Yeah.
The funny thing is, I don't think we're gonna be able to get that guy this year, man. I think that we're probably stuck where we are.
I think part of that reason is I think the Cowboys hit a noise in the fan base. They actually know half of the fan base loves Dak, and another one, well, I damn bet you Cooper Rush is better than Dak. And I don't even think they actually want that noise of, okay, we actually drafted a QB in the third round. Or what are they trying to say? Is he taking Dak's spot?
Yeah, pretty much. And anybody that we draft has that option to possibly take that spot because, I mean, Dak himself was a fourth rounder. So, but, I mean, let's make no mistake. They're going to sign Dak. So, but I do wish we had a better backup quarterback. And I always want my backup quarterback to have some mobility. I always want that person to be able to, if the play breaks down, they can run. Because that's something that a defense can't really plan for. Because like Dak is a little bit more of a pocket passer. Would I call him a mobile running quarterback? I think he's more in the pocket than he is any of that type of stuff. But if you have a backup quarterback that you have to account for his legs, that defense in that week, in case your starter goes down, they got to prepare for something completely different. I don't want my backup to be close to what my starter is. And I think that these guys are a little bit closer to Dak than they are not, if you get what I mean. But they can't run, so he can run, and that's what separates him. But if I were to have a backup quarterback and I was serious about actually grooming a young guy, I would make it a guy that was a little bit more mobile. I don't think they have that in this draft, though.
At least not when we're picking.
Nah, nope. We're kind of short when it comes to that. But I'll ask this question. If the Redskins were to cut Mark Sanchez, would you be opposed to bringing Mark Sanchez back in?
No. Not because I want him to play. I actually just like what he did for that.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. If the Redskins were to get rid of Sanchez, I would bring in Sanchez to be my third quarterback. And I know a lot of people probably going to look in the comments and say, but fumble this, but fumble that. But I'm bringing him in for the tutelage. And what I do is I create that competition between Cooper Rush and Mike White. The best one of those guys is going to win it out, and the other guys is gone fishing. Or if Mike White loses it out, Mike White could go to practice squad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because if we ever got down to Sanchez, the season's pretty much over anyway.
Oh, it's a wash. It's done. But what I need to know is that I got somebody that can help one of these young guys because not only do we have him, but we got John Kitna. So I do think that the quarterback coaching aspect of our team is going to get better. But, bringing in a veteran quarterback would definitely help that.
Yep.
Let's see. So Joseph Sandberg said Rapp is the number one safety for him. Let's see. Zachary Nation said safety or defensive end.
Safety.
I agree. Definitely agree with that. Let's see what else we got, man. What's up with the backup for Zeke? That's from Deuce09.
Listening to Steven and Jerry, it actually seems like they are looking at that in the draft.
Yeah, absolutely. They haven't hid any. The thing is, the Cowboys don't they'll show you your hand pretty much, their hand. And that's the only position as far as a veteran that they talked about having needs that they haven't really gone after. Like receiver, we went out, we got Cobb. Safety, we went out and we got Aloka. Defensive line, we went and got Kerry Hyder. Now they're trying to get Robert Quinn. But running back, for some odd reason, they haven't touched that at all. And there are some free agents out there, but I think that what that means is that they're gearing up for the draft. Definitely gearing up for the draft.
Because who's a free agent running back that I would say, all right, TJ Yeldon maybe?
That's the only one that really jumps out is TJ Yeldon. But again, I don't have to sign him today because nobody's knocking his door down. So I can go to him after the draft or right before camp and get him for cheaper than what I would get him for right now.
Yeah.
Hey, Antoine Myers said, DMV Cowboy, spit some knowledge to me. I need help. I don't see what everyone else see. Dak is a good QB, yes. His arm is average at best. His ball floats, no zip. Can he carry us? Is he worth $28 million? I'll let you answer that question.
Oh, I will let you go first.
The answer to me is yes, he can. He is worth $28 million. You know why he's worth $28 million? Because the market says he's probably worth $28 million. And there's a lot of bum-ass quarterbacks out there making money, and they don't even have a shot in hell at winning. So for me, it's all about winning. I don't care what the ball look like. That could throw 5 yards a game. But as long as we win, I don't care. But the biggest thing for me is that he's a leader of men. And he's going to get the most out of everybody on that team as long as he's quarterback. They'll run through a brick wall for him. And they will play hard and they will follow him. So if it comes down to him making $28 million a year, yes, I think he's worth it.
Is it my turn yet?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to take you down memory lane. 2008, Tony Romo breaks his hand. Brad Johnson goes 1-4 in those games. 2010, Romo breaks his collarbone. The Cowboys was 1-6 at that time, and they only won 6 games that year. We go down to 2013, the next time Romo wins a game. Castle. I mean, no, it damn wasn't Matt Castle. I can't even think of his name. He goes 0-1. And Romo misses 2 games in 2014. We go 0-2. Then we get to 2015. We only win 1 game when Tony Romo wasn't there. Romo misses game the next year. Dak wins 13. I think that tells you why Dak is the quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Is that it?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So look, a lot of people talking about Yeldon. Yeldon stays hurt. Ty Montgomery. All right. So Antoine Meyer said, yes, I knew you was going to say that D-Law is worth $23 million. That's the going rate, but we don't want to pay him. And I guess that goes along with, is that worth the $28 million? Do you think that D-Law is worth $23 million? Because I answered this question for Antoine earlier.
Yes. Do I want to pay him that? No.
Yeah. I'm with you. If it came down to it, you might have to just go ahead and bite that bullet and just keep in mind and think about this. The TV deal is coming in about 2 years?
Because that is the next CBA, yeah.
So by then it won't matter. So if you get a lot of your guys under contract before that happens, some of our cornerstone guys like D-Law, Dak,
Zeke.
Zeke. Jalen gonna come up eventually. But yeah, if you get your cornerstone guys under contract before that happens, by the time the CBA hits and then the new TV deal hits, we'll be Gucci. You know what I mean? We'll be good. So I feel a much better if that happens. opposed to if they all hit right after that, and then the market just skyrockets like crazy.
Yep, because I was saying something with the next CBA deal. Because if you looked at when the 2011 CBA hit, the owners played real hardball and actually dropped the salary cap by like 20 or 30 million, and everybody was scrambling. But actually, with the way the QB market is going, they actually can't afford to do that this next time around. They actually can't say we're gonna play hardball because you're gonna have to cut half your damn team, especially with quarterbacks about to start making 40 million a year. So the damn cap is gonna go up. Either that or else they're gonna have to get rid of the cap altogether.
Yeah, I know. And so my man Raymond, and Raymond is a beast. I like Raymond. He said this dude is not worth 23 million, talking about D-Law. And see, this is where I'm going to disagree, because if you could tell me that Trey Flowers is worth 16 to 18 million, uh, I mean, D-Law, what, two-time Pro Bowl back-to-back, all-pro last year? I mean, he is elite at his position. He is. You know, like you might look at 10 and a half sacks and say that that's not a lot of sacks, but that's not a little bit of sacks. That's double digit.
And honestly, I actually think the coach has shorted him on some sacks. I was like, I watch every minute of every game. I'm like, he looked like he got more than 10 and a half sacks.
Or you know, some of them got stolen by maybe Randy Gregory or something like that. But keep in mind this, man, it's not all about sacks. Like, sacks aren't going to necessarily tell you all that you need to know about the player. DeMarcus Lawrence, like I said earlier, he's the first person in the scouting report of every offensive meeting. Tell me I'm lying.
Nope.
Because if you can't block 90, if you can't block him, you're done. It's a wrap. You have to account for him. Nobody else demands that type of attention on our team. We keep talking about, oh, we need a defensive tackle. We need a defensive tackle. Well, this guy's getting these sacks without having that pressure coming up the middle like we would like. So
and then honestly, if you look at DeMarcus Ware's two best years, 2011 with 20 sacks, and actually 2008. We actually wasn't really winning games. We was 8-8 and 9-7.
mm-hmm.
The Marcus Lawrence is lead more than wins with less sacks, and actually that was with Jay Ratliff almost getting double-digit sacks at nose tackle.
Mm-hmm. And keep in mind, it was something that I liked that you said earlier when we were discussing D-Law. You said that D-Law is equally as good against the run as he is against the pass. So does that not count for anything?
To me, it does, because whenever we got beat on the run, it was usually up the middle. It actually wasn't running to his side. A lot of pass rushers, you can run to their side and actually beat them. Like, you can run the Von Miller, you can run the Khalil Mack, because they really don't want to play the run. You can't run the D-Law.
Yeah, man, I see D-Law constantly take on blockers, and you got them long arms or whatever. Like, he's able to, kind of stalemate them and kind of force them back inside, which is ultimately in a 4-3. That's what your defensive end's job is to do, is to contain, and he does that very well. So for me, I think that we have to keep that in consideration when we talk about him. So I know that a lot of people are worried about his shoulder. So I'm gonna ask you a question, because I personally believe he had the surgery. I can't believe that he didn't have it. Do you think he had the surgery?
Probably not at first, but I think he's smart enough to know the Cowboys ain't gonna give him that long-term contract, because they aren't gonna want to waste the first year of the deal, him being on the pup to begin the season. And he doesn't mind that in his head because he's getting the money, but he knows the organization probably 7, 8 years ago would say, yeah, all right, we will do that. The way they run it now, Steven and Will McClay ain't gonna give you that money, and you like, all right, you only gonna play 10 games this season because you got the surgery late.
Here's my hunch. I think that he's playing or not playing, but I think that they're throwing it out there that he might not have had the surgery so that he's not trade bait. Because who's going to come after him? Who's going to come after him if they think that he didn't have surgery or he's not healthy? I know that as my team, I would not want to go after somebody that I thought was hurt as far as like going to trade for them. Now, like if I'm going to sign somebody and I can get them for cheap and just get a look at them, we can get a physical. Like, for example, Eric Berry. If Eric Berry came cheap or whatever, and we know that he's hurt, he's got the bone spurs and stuff in his ankle, we got an opportunity to really get a free look in his cheap. Like, it makes sense. But as far as trading for somebody that wants a big deal and they're hurt, I'm not going to do it. So I think that what he's doing is he's using it as leverage. And I think that you're going to find out that he had this surgery all along because it just don't like something. It doesn't make sense to not get a surgery if you're planning on signing a long-term deal.
You can do that in basketball because every dollar's guaranteed. No matter what happens, you really can't play that roulette game in the NFL.
Exactly. So
because Kyrie did that with his knee last year. Like, all right, I ain't gonna do nothing until y'all trade me. I ain't getting surgery. It really don't matter because I'm paid anyway.
So my question is, could the agent going back to them and asking for 23 mil or whatever, could that be a stalling tactic? Because guess what? Like I said, it's March. He got until how long to heal or to do rehab or whatever. He got a ton of time, dude. So if it doesn't respond like he wants it to, then he's devaluing himself when he goes to that table. This is all speculation. I don't know anything. But if this happened, I just wouldn't be surprised is why I'm throwing it out there.
Plus, I don't think he would do that to his teammates.
Well, not
because if he's showing up to captain's drills, he's committed to the team. He ain't gonna want to. All right, I'm gonna miss the first 6 games for my money. He doesn't strike me as that guy, personally. Regardless if I want to say he's the 5th or 8th best DN in the league, he's the leader of the defense. So I don't just see him saying, yeah, I am just going to come out and half-ass it.
So my question to you would be, do you think D-Law needs to fire his agent?
No, because it's his agent's job to try to get the most money. Now, if he start asking for 30 mil a year, yeah, you're going to have to get him out of there. You ain't getting that.
But 23, I don't know why. I don't feel like that's greedy. I think it's a good firm number to start at that you can. It's your job as a negotiator, the Joneses family. It's your job to try and talk him down.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Now, to me, he isn't asking for nothing. He's not asking for nothing ridiculous to me. I don't want them to give him $23 million, but if they did, okay.
Exactly. And another thing too, you also have to set the tone with your negotiations for everybody else. Because if Tank tell you, hey, I wanted 20 yesterday, but now I want 23, what the hell you think Byron gonna do when his negotiations come up? What you think Zeke gonna do? Or Dak? If Dak do that, we screwed.
Yeah, because why? You're going to have to give Dak whatever he asks for.
Yeah, so this is really, D-Law is really the first attempt at real negotiations. So they got to find a happy medium in order to make this happen because they're setting the tone for the rest of their young guys when they do sign these deals. So, but it is what it is, man. I kind of expected it. And I mean, if you thought this was gonna be easy, man, like I don't know if you've been watching Cowboys negotiations. Nothing's ever easy for us. Unless we're signing these how do I say it? These Walmart specials that they be bringing in.
Yeah, the only easy deals have been quarterbacks. And really, it ain't no negotiating with a quarterback. You just, what you want to set the new market? Okay.
Exactly.
Send in the deal. Because they actually went to the last day with Dez.
I know. I was just talking about it before you got on. I said, look, the only guys that had an easy time negotiating was Romo and Witten. I said everybody else had to go through hell. So I don't know why everybody's expecting this D-Law situation to go easy. Oh, another guy that got it easy was Sean Lee. Sean Lee got an easy deal.
I think so did Tyron Smith.
Zach Martin did relatively too. Zach Martin got it pretty easy.
Well, he actually held out for a week of OTAs and they got it done.
Yeah, true, he did that. Touche. You're right about that. But
because his agent was talking market value. But to me, I honestly see Tank deal getting done in the next couple weeks. Because I don't think they are that far apart to where it's like, all right, we will see you in July.
Yeah, at this point, we're talking about what, 5 years? At this point, well, I mean, it's $15 million if it's a 5-year deal. $15 million total, because you're talking about what, $3 million that they're stuck at 23 and 20. I mean, me, I just think you should meet at 21 and call it a deal. But
I think to me, I think that is what happened, and I think he gets done by the draft. You actually know the Cowboys; they ain't gonna have a first-round pick, so they probably announcing on draft day to steal some headlines.
Yeah, probably, man. But yeah, man, we're gonna head on out. It's 8:30 right now. Appreciate everybody tuning in. The comment section was on fire. Elton, you got a message for everybody before we go?
See you next week and like and share.
All right, everybody. Peace out.